It's time to follow along once again with me, Miss B. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and hit the notification bell for new videos every week. We are now on week 6 of quarter 2, Elements of Art, and we're going to explore texture today. Supplies you'll need will be paper and a pencil. You can also use a black color pencil or a black marker. Let's start by holding our paper landscape and folding it in half. Then we're going to fold it in half again. This will give us 4 quarters of a paper. So we're actually going to draw the same thing in all 4 quarters. If you remember from a couple weeks ago, we practiced with an apple shape. So we are going to draw 4 apples, 1 in each quarter. Try to make sure your apples are fairly large, filling the space. And try to also make sure that all 4 apples are roughly the same size and the same shape. This part you can absolutely use a pencil for. For video purposes, I'm going to outline all of my apples with a black marker. You can also outline yours in a black marker or a black color pencil. So now that we have 4 apples, we're going to start to texture each of these apples differently. So we're going to start with our first apple up here in the corner, and we're going to make this a hairy apple. So yes, our texture is going to be hairy. Now, because this is a two-dimensional drawing, we have to make our eyes feel the texture. So to make a hairy apple, I'm going to make short strokes with my marker, trying to stay in the same direction and only turning the direction when I get to the other half of the apple. So now that we finished our first texture, we're going to move to the second texture. We're going to make this apple spiky. So this is going to be something sharp, right, to the touch. And by doing this, I'm going to put teeny tiny little triangles all over this apple. So you've noticed I've left the bottom off the triangle, so I'm just doing an up and down motion with my marker. Now the apple has a round shape, so the spikes are going to start to go in different directions following the roundness of the apple. That will include the spikes on the inside and the spikes on the outside. So you don't want all of your little spikes going in the same direction. Because I want the texture of this apple to feel very spiky, I'm making sure I go in and I fill in any empty spaces I might have. So for the next texture, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but we're going to make a wooden texture. So I will stop and start this video so that you can follow the pattern that I'm creating to make a wooden textured apple. So I am going to start with this teardrop shape. Then I'm going to make a shape toward the bottom and another teardrop shape toward the middle and almost like a crescent shape toward the top. Then what I'm going to do next is trace the shapes I've just made. So I am going to start to add some lines here, while also following the shapes I've already made. Again, I will continue to pause the video so that you can see and copy the shapes and lines that I'm creating on this apple. And by making simple teardrop shapes and just tracing those lines and then adding some wavy lines, we have made a wooden texture. The last texture we're going to make is a rocky texture. This one's going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to start by making some curved lines across our apple quite loosely. So you see I'm not pressing hard on my marker at all. I'm just making sections with curved lines because I do have a curved shape or a curved object, which is the apple. The apple is not flat. And once I think I have enough lines, we're going to move on to the second step of this. The second step is we're going to start to create circles and oval shapes that fill in these sections we've just made. So you can see they're rather large ovals and they will go in different directions. So the space on the side, I filled that with an oval. So I'm going to try and fill this big space here as well. And the small spaces too. So each space that I've made on this apple, I'm filling with an oval type shape. And I will pause this so that you can see it. Just remember, as you're doing this, fill in that space. So now that we've filled in the larger spaces, we're going to go in to all the empty spaces we have, and we're going to add smaller circle oval type shapes. So you don't want any open triangular spaces or square spaces. As you can see here, we want to fill those in with tinier circle oval shapes. What I'm doing here is once I've filled in as many open spaces as I can with an oval or circle shape, I'm filling in with tiny dots next. So any open space that I could not fit a circle or an oval in, I'm going to fill it in with teeny tiny little dots. And again, we're going for a rocky texture. So one of our elements of art is texture, and we've taken these 4 apples and given them different textures. We have a hairy apple, a spiky apple, a wooden apple, and a rocky apple. You can practice with different types of textures, but I thought these would be the most fun. Don't forget to submit this assignment on Schoology for full credit. If you have any questions, make sure you message me on Schoology. Don't forget to click that like button, guys, and have a nice day.